Hey everyone, welcome back to Listening XYZ Headphone, the podcast where English learning feels fun and real. Forget boring lessons, here we talk like friends. Today's topic is super exciting, let's go. You're now tuned in to Listening XYZ, the place where style, stories, and English practice meet.
Today, we're tackling something pretty universal, something that touches almost everyone at some point. We're talking about a broken heart.
Yeah, it's a tough one, whether it's, love gone wrong or maybe a friendship ending, even family stuff. That kind of pain can feel huge.
Totally all-consuming. But we're not just going to sit with the hurt today. We found this really thoughtful guide, actually, and it lays out a pretty clear three-step process for working through it. Okay, let's unpack this. Our goal here is to pull out the really practical stuff from this guide. Kind of give you a roadmap for healing.
And maybe even growing from it.
Exactly. The source acknowledges how raw it all feels, the pain, but then it offers this different way of looking at it.
What's fascinating here is how the source sets the stage right away. It gets that a broken heart leaves you feeling empty, sad, that's real, but then it introduces this core idea. Pain is not the end. Pain can also become your teacher.
A teacher. That's a big shift in perspective when you're feeling awful.
Yeah. It is. But it's not about saying the pain isn't real or doesn't hurt. It's about asking, what can this experience teach you? Maybe resilience you didn't know you had, or maybe it makes you think about what you really value.
Or forces you to set better boundaries next time, perhaps.
Exactly. It's about finding the constructive angle, not just, sitting in the sadness indefinitely.
That is a powerful way to reframe it, turning devastation into potential growth. But, okay, practically speaking, if someone's right in the middle of it, feeling overwhelmed, how do they even start to see pain as a teacher? That first step seems huge.
That's a critical question. And the guide suggests the shift really starts with step one. It sounds simple, but it's often the hardest part. Step one is accept your feelings.
Oh.
The source puts it really plainly. It is okay to cry. It is okay to feel sad. Just permission.
That permission feels so important because there's often this pressure, right, from inside or outside to just get over it.
Be strong.
Yeah, be strong. But this guide is saying, nope, it's okay. Feel what you feel.
Precisely. And that pressure to suppress things, that often just makes healing take longer. Psychologically, you have to acknowledge something before you can process it. Resisting it doesn't work. This raises an important question. Why do we often fight these very natural feelings?
Yeah, why do we? Is it fear? Embarrassment?
Could be lots of things. But the source stresses that accepting these feelings is vital because fighting them is like, trying to hold a beach ball underwater.
Yeah. It takes effort, and eventually
it shoots back up, maybe even harder. You can't deal with something you're pretending isn't there.
So acceptance creates the space you need to actually let the grief, the sadness kind of move through you naturally.
Exactly. Instead of getting stuck, it takes courage, that first step. Acknowledging the reality, even when it hurts.
It really does. Okay, so you can't fix what you won't face. Makes sense. So once you've kind of given yourself that permission, allowed yourself to feel, where does the guide take us next?
It moves to something very practical. Step 2, take care of yourself.
Right, the basics.
Yes, the absolute basics. The source says, eat healthy food, sleep well, and do small activities you enjoy.
Which sounds so straightforward. But when you're heartbroken, even eating can feel like climbing a mountain.
Oh, absolutely. Your whole world can shrink. Routine, forget it.
But that's what I like about this advice. It's simple, accessible. It's not saying, go fix your whole life right now.
No grand gestures needed.
It's just small things, manageable things. It's like when your phone's dead, right? You don't yell at it.
You plug it in.
You wait patiently. These actions, eating, sleeping, maybe just listening to one song you feel like plugging yourself back in.
Recharging that internal battery bit by bit.
Exactly. When you feel completely drained, they're not just distractions, are they? They feel more deliberate. Acts of kindness to yourself.
Definitely not just distractions. If we connect this to the bigger picture, these small acts of self-care are foundational. They're about rebuilding.
How so? What's the deeper meaning there?
Well, think about it. Intense emotional pain puts your body and mind under enormous stress.
Right. Yeah, you feel physically awful too often.
Exactly. So if you neglect the basics, food, sleep, you're just making it harder on yourself. You're amplifying the emotional toll.
Okay, that makes sense.
But beyond the physical side, doing these things, even when you don't feel like it, is a way of telling yourself, subconsciously maybe, that you matter, that you deserve care, that you are worth the effort. And that's huge when heartbreak often makes your self-worth just plummet.
Ah, I see. It's like an affirmation through action.
Precisely. The source highlights these practical steps. Eating well gives your body fuel, helps clear the brain fog. Sleep lets your mind process things, regulate emotions. And those small, enjoyable activities, they just remind you that pleasure and normalcy still exist somewhere. Even tiny bits.
Little glimmers.
Little glimmers. So they're not band-aids, they're building blocks. They help you regain a tiny bit of control when everything feels chaotic.
Building yourself back up, block by block. I like that. Okay, so we've accepted the feelings, we're doing the basic self-care. Then the guide shifts focus again, doesn't it? Towards the future.
It does. Which brings us to step 3, look forward.
This feels like the hope part.
It is. The guide says life is not over. New opportunities, new people, and new happiness will come.
That can be hard to believe when you're in the thick of it, though. How do you actually tap into that feeling? Is it just forcing yourself to be optimistic?
Not exactly forcing it. It builds on the other steps. You're not ignoring the pain you've accepted or pretending the self-care fixed everything overnight. It's more like making a conscious shift. The guide kind of brings it all together here. It says something really powerful. A broken heart is not the end of your story. It is just the beginning of a new chapter.
A new chapter. Here's where it gets really interesting. How does just thinking about the future actually help?
Well, psychologically, when you start setting intentions, even small ones, for the future, or just allow yourself to consider possibilities, you actually start using different parts of your brain. You move away from the purely emotional, pain-focused areas like the limbic system towards the prefrontal cortex, the part involved in planning, deciding. It helps shift your mental landscape gently.
So it's like redirecting your focus. Not denying the past, but looking at where you might go.
Exactly. It helps you remember you have agency, you get to make choices about what comes next, you're the author of that next chapter.
Even if you feel broken right now.
Especially then. It's about realizing you have the strength, maybe buried deep, to write something new. You take the lessons from the pain.
The resilience, the new boundaries.
Yes.
Yeah.
You integrate those into the story you start creating for yourself moving forward.
That feels empowering. Okay, so for everyone listening, maybe going through this or supporting someone who is, so what does this all mean? Let's recap quickly. This deep dive gave us a pretty clear path from our source. First, accept your feelings. It really is okay to cry, to be sad. Acknowledge it.
Essential.
Second, take care of yourself, the basics. Eat well, sleep, do tiny things you enjoy, plug yourself back in.
Foundational self-kindness.
And third, look forward. Remember, life goes on. New things will come. Start thinking about that next chapter.
That conscious shift.
Right. And the big takeaway seems to be that core idea from the start.
Yep.
Pain, as hard as it is, can actually be a teacher.
It really can. And the source leaves us with that simple, strong message. Stay strong, stay hopeful.
Yeah.
It's not just about getting through it, is it? It's about coming out the other side maybe wiser, more resilient. It's challenging you, the listener, to see even this painful experience as part of your story, part of your growth.
Every tear, every small act of self-care, every hopeful thought, it's all part of who you're becoming.
It affirms your ability to heal, to move beyond what feels like an end.
Absolutely. Which leads us to that final thought. If a broken heart isn't the end, but really truly the beginning of a new chapter, what specific lessons from this deep dive will you carry into the story you write next? Something to think about. We really hope this exploration offers some strength, some hope, wherever you find yourself today.
That's it for today's episode. Tell us in the comments what you think backhand index pointing down. If you enjoyed this talk, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with your friends Rocket. Remember, listen, learn, level up. Fire. See you in the next episode.